Well, this ought to be good. Hulk versus Godzilla. If you didn't see my last reaction video, I got a little bit excited when they announced it. Oh, yeah! Tune in for my next reaction, because you bet your ass I'm there. Because it's Hulk versus Godzilla. I don't think it really needs an introduction at this point. I think people have really been waiting for this one for a while. People have been suggesting this one for a while. I think it's just going to be a fun one to watch. I know it's not a Sprite animation. I know the title says Sprite Animator Reacts. I think it's going to be a fun video. I think it's going to make for a really, really good death battle. So I'm going to react to it. It is also just like a really fascinating debate. I mean, it's so much more than just big lizard versus small guy, even though I think part of the reason why it's fun is because it's big lizard versus small guy. But I mean, the headache that comes with this one and the precedence I think that comes with this one is really what is drawing me to it. It's inherently difficult to handle, it's inherently weird to research, and I think it's inherently going to be really interesting as a result. They had to delay this episode because of animation and research purposes. I mean, they plan really, really far in advance, guys. Like, if they actually had to delay this to make it as good as it could be, I can only imagine that they did a really good job and wanted to get it right. I'm going to try to make a prediction for Hulkzilla. Again, against my better judgment, it's a headache. But I do have an announcement to make. I get to say something today that I've never gotten to say before. But I get to say it for the first time today. So I am proud to announce that this video is sponsored by Into the Am. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I am kind of a dork. What? Is that a Batman versus Spider-Man reference? I do own the magic book of spells. Rick and Morty. Now, being a dork is not necessarily something I can change about myself, but one thing I can change is how I dress, and that's why I'm super grateful to Into the Am for sponsoring this video. So if you don't know, Into the Am is a clothing company led by a team of artists and creators alike, sharing the common vision to elevate self-expression through unique apparel and custom artwork. Each hand-drawn design on these shirts is eye-catching in their own ways. The options on their website are so vast that even I had trouble picking my favorites. I wore these shirts on a couple of separate film sets, and I'm happy to report that they were always really comfortable and breathable, and even got me a few compliments. And guys, the shirts are genuinely comfortable. I'm not just saying that because they sponsored me. I'm told they're made from a super soft pre-shrunk fabric that gets softer with each wash. I don't know what those words mean, but I do know they're really comfy. Now, if you like what you see and you want to check it out for yourself, click the link in my description and get 10% off on these premium made tees. Make sure to use the code Levitation at checkout for 10% off your first order. That's Levitation at checkout. So in short, thank you Into the Am for sponsoring my content. I never thought I'd get here. I know everybody says that, but I genuinely never thought I'd get here, and I just appreciate you guys supporting my content so that I can make more death battle content for this community. I love doing it, and I don't plan to ever stop. Now, without further ado, I still have a controversial death battle to predict. So let's see how that goes. I'm not going to ignore the elephant in the room. This could be a fucking show. I don't mean the death battle itself, I mean the blowback. It's probably going to get a lot of hate, and it's probably going to get a lot of debunked videos and a bunch of unconstructive criticism thrown its way. It's well established in the versus community that these characters are difficult to scale and difficult to interpret. There are a lot of iterations of Hulk, and there are a lot of iterations of Godzilla. Which ones do you use? Which ones are canon here? Do you just composite everything into a gigantic mess? It's by nature difficult to interpret and to figure out. The Raptor didn't even make a prediction on this matchup because he said he was not having a good time researching it. Bless his heart, he's the chillest guy, and he couldn't make a prediction because of how frustrating it was by nature. So with that, you have to take my view on this thing with a grain of salt, because I'm just Levi. You think I know what I'm talking about? I'm purposefully prefacing my prediction with a bunch of layers of don't trust me so that if I'm wrong, you know why. I'm kind of a dumbass. But like, seriously looking at everything, and seriously considering a lot of the takes that I've heard, from what I've seen, heard a lot about Ultima. I've heard a lot about Singular Point. I know that he has a true form that is inaccessible to any physical being, that in theory cannot be harmed or even really reached or interacted with, and I don't necessarily see a way that Hulk can beat that. In that same breath, Hulk gets scaling directly to the one below all, which gets scaling to the one above all if you chain scale it in a certain way. So what do you do with that? Can he interact with that, and can he kill that? The simple answer I'll give to that, with almost no basis and just a tiny bit of research and looking into it, yes, I think they'll give the win to Hulk. I think that they will make a case that Hulk wins. This heavily interpretational debate, I have a feeling they're going to chain scale him in a certain way that says, yeah, it is within the realm of possibility and likely that he can harm a higher dimensional being that couldn't immediately be accessed by standard reality. I don't know. I have a gut feeling that they're going to give it to Hulk. I don't want to say that just because he's lost 2 other times. I don't think that it's fair to say, oh, well, Hulk is due for a win, so they're just going to give him the win. No, I think that it can legitimately be argued both ways. When characters become this powerful and this broken, you kind of just have to say, well, fuck it. This is how I see the characters, and this is how I interpret the stories. I don't know if you'll like that answer. I don't know if you'll like that prediction, but it is what I think that the team will do specifically. I don't know, guys. I think more than anything, I just want the community to be happy with this. You know, I want the community to enjoy what they have done here. It's very clear that they care a lot about this matchup specifically, and they care a lot about getting it right. And whether or not you think it's right, at the end of the day, you can kind of interpret this weird matchup in any way you want to. With all of that being said, let's react to one of the more controversial death battles I've ever reacted to. I hope you're ready, because I don't think I am. I hope that this is a really fun one, and I think they will have done a good job with it. I've got a lot of high hopes here. So the chat's going absolutely bonkers right now, and it looks like Godzilla's the favorite to win. I put money on Hulk, so let's hope. Okay, let's do it.
The Hulk versus Godzilla. Marvel's Green Goliath against the king of the monsters.
I gotta preface, I don't know that much about these characters, so like, you're probably gonna hear me be like, oh, I didn't know that, like 50 times, so be prepared for my ignorance. Such a fun, quiet way to start an analysis.
The Hulk? Is he man? Is he monster? Or is he both?
Graphics already look great. Editing already looks great. We love it. I wonder how long this one's going to be.
Banner suffers from dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah,
many
they talked about this in Hulk vs. Broly. I wonder if they're going to include other Hulks. Like, I don't know. I have a feeling Bruce Banner's not going to be that big of a problem for this. So they're already going into bigger forms of Hulk like this early on. I'm wondering what the rest of this analysis is going to be, if not just really crazy feats.
At one point, he was bound in chains forged from the essence of the first firmament, the manifestation of the first universe, which could bind eternity itself. Not even Galactus was capable of saving eternity alone, and the Hulk just broke it by himself.
So, stronger than Galactus? Stronger than eternity? Strongest there is? That's, these edits, they're so small, but they're so effective. Just a little, that little stretching effect.
On Earth 616, gamma radiation is an electromagnetic frequency that can manifest as either a wave,
almost 20,000.
Something else.
Oh my gosh. I wonder how much Banner is going to take a like play a part in this. Yeah, this is. I wonder how this is gonna go.
It turns out that third form of Gamma, this anomaly from the bedrock of hell, spawns from none other than the one below all.
It's the picture I used.
Dark side of the one above all.
Yeah, they used both renders I used. Look at that. I'm smart. Hire me.
What is the Hulk?
As an animator, not an editor.
A prison for a tortured soul? A super weapon for Armageddon?
Don't overthink it, Wiz. Hulk is Hulk, and Hulk's the strongest one there is.
That was pretty cool. That was fun. Okay, well,
Godzilla.
they used an actual sound clip. They don't do that anymore.
Over the years, there have been many iterations of the beast.
He's got atomic breath.
A concentrated beam,
Which I guess Hulk can just absorb. I don't know.
With an estimated range of 1,100 miles, it can exceed 500,000 degrees Celsius, almost 90 times hotter than the surface of the sun.
But depending on how much radiation he's absorbed, or
he can do it too.
Life energy from a
They're just gonna
giant
absorb
pterodactyl,
each other.
he can
This is
do
gonna be
way
weird,
more
man.
with
This is gonna be
Its
weird.
red spiral ray is a supercharged version that doubles in heat
It's
and
the
power.
it's the ray that
and
killed Gamera.
spins.
I
Or
remember
he can
that.
blast it out of his back and fly.
Not a
Well,
fake fan.
he could
So I guess they are just
bypass
compositing
and don't
everything.
forget, Big
That
Dick
sa-
and Bo
that
with the
seems
best
really
of 'em.
messy.
After Charles Barkley got him his own pair of Nikes,
I mean, they've done it before, so I'm listening,
it's kind of
but
hard to
it
emphasize
just seems
how
messy.
Impressively terrifying Godzilla can be when you're.
Why don't you find a better spokesperson for Dr. Pepper? Fine, let's talk
You
about
can't.
when his
Period
So far,
extinction event
Hulk
that happened
kinda
about
washes
200
all
million
this.
years ago.
Then he went
So
to
far.
hell, fought some fucked up versions of God and Satan, and atomic breath that Space Godzilla so hard that he blew up the whole planet.
There you go.
That's scary enough for you? God, I want a Dr. Pepper. You can blow up his head, explode him from the inside, or crush him in a black hole. Then he'll come back.
Why is
Or
that?
evolve into. But to understand that, we should first answer
Maybe?
a question. How does Godzilla walk?
On two legs,
Oh,
Wiz.
Are they bringing up how he
But according to
scientifically
Sprite,
shouldn't be able
those
to
legs
exist?
should be
Yeah,
crushed under
they
his
should
own
be.
weight.
We
Like
actually talked
Godzilla
about this in
cannot
like a math
realistically
class
exist.
in like
This
ninth
proved
grade
to
or
be an
something,
elusive
whether or
question
not
for decades.
Godzilla could
Highlighted
actually
in
exist,
Shin
and the answer was
until a
no.
new theory was
Because the
presented
inverse
in
square
the
law
anime
or whatever.
Singular Point. If
There it is.
Godzilla
Okay,
can't
singular point.
exist
Here it is. Here it
in our
is.
reality,
Here's
what
the.
if he's from a different one?
What? Like he's an alien from another dimension?
Exactly. Already in the form of archetype.
It's that red dust that's floating all over the place.
This
Okay.
theoretically explains why various Godzillas appear in so many universes. They all trace back to one singular point.
Okay,
Godzilla
fair.
Ultima.
We move an object.
So it's
and
just
its
like
shadow
the one below
changes.
all.
We get why that happens.
It's similar.
But to someone who exists in only a 2D
They're
plane,
both-
the shadow looks like it just randomly transformed.
Yeah,
into
so a higher
something
dimensional
totally
being,
different.
which
Crazy
Hulk.
to think about.
My
Away
prediction
from
is that
Big
Hulk
Lizard
can
Smash
contend with
Building,
that.
Through Ultima, this entity sees the universe as an interactable fiction and can control
Wow.
causality in the moment of
It's
occurrence.
so
But
it's
the
such a
entity
crazy
disconnects
debate.
cause
Like I
and
see,
effect and
I'm seeing
nullifies
more and
events
more
in
why this
retrospect
is such a
without
headache.
regard for time.
And now my head hurts. TLDR.
Mine too.
Ultima
Has
So
its
it can be
differences,
purged,
one
but it
thing
can't be
remains
killed.
certain.
Godzilla
Unless
is immortal.
you're
and
strong?
That makes him
I don't know.
The king.
Okay, so here's where I am in the sponsor right now. Okay, real quick prediction before, as they're going on about Death Battle shirts. I still think Hulk will probably take it. There's a gut feeling. I don't know what it is. I know logic is telling me that Ultima takes this because of how nuts it is. But like, for some reason, I have a feeling that Hulk is just going to be able to contend with that. I feel like there's some kind of scaling out there that makes Hulk able. It's possible I'm coping, but that's my prediction. I'm sticking by it.
Are set, and we've run the data through
Okay.
all possibilities.
It's time for a death
Do a death battle. Peak my fiction, as always. All right, Hulk versus Godzilla. Easy. Okay, nice scale. Nice scale. All right.
Godzilla has reached the city. So far, the evacuation is... Wait, look!
There he is. Oh, man. Come on, Hulk, you got it. Just lift him up. Yeah. Oh, shockwaves already. Fodder for Godzilla. That's nothing. He just jumping around already. Look at how, oh man, he's so small. Okay, ate him. That's a mistake. Just lift it up. Oh! Whoa!
All right, Hulk. Time for me to take over. We don't want any trouble. No! Hulk stays!
Whoa. Yeah, no, Godzilla's fine, dude. Just fix that jaw. Oh. That was a mistake. So Banner is involved. World Breaker.
You think you're strong? I scar the world!
Oh man. There's such a sense of dread to all of this. Oh, he's fine. Oh, it's so like brutal already. What's he gonna do? Oh. Thunderclap back down. He's going in. Oh, there's that red one. Where's that location change? Are they destroying the planet? They gotta be. He just keeps destroying the physical version, but that's not gonna take him out.
Stupid lizard.
It's so quiet. I like this. Still fine. There goes Hulk. The green door. Ultima. Whoa.
I think I understand.
Oh, sh**. Are they just gonna keep fighting?
It's been days since the battle began, and the red dust.
They're telling a story here. They just keep fighting.
Well,
Smart Hulk's here.
smash.
Yeah, this is a really cool take on this fight.
Rising. That's the odds. Chance to nullify the madness behind the monster.
No way. No way. Is he gonna use the ultimate nullifier on Ultima? Is that gonna work? I'm rooting for Hulk so much. I want him to f***ing win so much.
A million. A trillion.
This is crazy, dude.
I just need one.
Just one. Just one time. Can he do it? Can he do it? Just once. Dude. Did Banner do it? Did they figure it out?
You did it, big guy. We did it.
I told you! I told you he could do it! I told you he could do it! Oh my gosh! Yeah. Okay. I'm so excited by this because I think that they called it in the way that I thought they would. Yeah, for sure.
Ultima changes things. The entity sees all of space-time and can manipulate its results at a whim. No matter how strong the Hulk got, Ultima could potentially negate
always negate it.
Broke chains made of the first firmament, which could overwhelm
Yeah, exactly. I told you, he can contend. He can contend with beings like that. It makes sense. I love that like the fight went on for days. That exposition point was so cool. It felt like they were telling a story. People are gonna be so mad. Man. Okay, which is bigger?
Infinite higher dimensions, which themselves are transcended by the astral plane, the superflow,
Cosmology
and so on,
scaling.
until you reach the house of ideas, the domain of the
Wow.
one above all.
Since the one below all mirrors the one above all, the below place mirrors the house of ideas. Get it?
In comparison, the cosmos of Godzilla's multiverse is just as vast and infinite, but does not have the same sort of transcending layers above and below. This means the below place, the Hulk's respawn point and source of power, is out of the entity's reach.
So the real question is,
That's shaky. I understand that it's interpretational, and I already said that, but that is kind of shaky.
before it destroyed the
I
universe.
think I agree with it, but I'd have to really think about that.
Over Hulk, it just so happens he knows someone who, like scientists
Banner.
who defeated Godzilla in the past,
Banner.
is an expert on particles from
See, this makes sense to me. Banner is like, Banner would be one of the smartest scientists Godzilla had ever encountered.
And even built an ultimate nullifier.
Exactly.
It's like he was made for this.
And if Ultima's catastrophe destroyed the universe, the door could deposit Banner in a different universe.
Exactly.
And he could continue the fight.
He had all the time in the infinite
Dude,
multiverse.
There was only one way
I
this
really
could end,
enjoyed
and
this.
only
Even among gods and monsters, man was the ultimate weapon.
the winner.
I love this.
is Bruce Banner.
I really enjoyed this. I don't know. Who's next?
Battle.
Ruby versus Maka. All right. Luis is animating Ruby versus Maka. Okay. Saw that on Twitter. That's going to be exciting.
Subscribe and
Cool.
join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks
Okay.
for watching.
Okay, so I just watched it again, and despite the messiness of this whole thing, despite the messiness of the debate, and despite the upset that I know that this is going to be, let's take a moment and appreciate what this did. It told a really, really, really good story. Within, like, I think maybe 4.5, 5 minutes, or however long it was, the animation, they went a different route with this than they ever have before. They sort of said in the animation, this has lasted days. This is something that Banner and Hulk just like work at and chip at, and Banner is basically just having to defy logic and think of these equations that are going to take Ultima out or bar him from Godzilla or do something. I don't know whether he actually killed or destroyed Ultima with his ultimate nullifier, but one way or another, they basically used the logic that I was using. And again, I don't want to say like, oh, I was right, you were wrong. I don't want to make this seem like that. I did take a shot in the dark, and I did say this is how I think they're going to scale it. But I did say that I thought that Death Battle would probably give Hulk the win based on him having scaling to the one below all and potentially the one above all. Because Ultima is a similar being to those, having this true form that is inaccessible to basic reality, standard reality, dimensions above our own. Hulk has seen that before. Breaking the chains that bind eternity, like, this is not something that is outside of the realm of possibility, I don't think. I do have a feeling that there's going to be several people that have a lot more knowledge on both characters that are going to make a case for otherwise. I totally see that as it's a controversial episode, and the favorite didn't win. I hope that really, out of all of this, the community can take a step back and think, did the animators do a good job? Did the writers do a good job? Did everybody on this project do a good job? I think the answer is yes. I think the researchers called it in the way that they genuinely believed that it would go, and they explained it in a way that did make sense. We can have this interpretation that Death Battle gives of the fight, and then we can also have our own interpretations and that be okay. They're not the end-all be-all at the end of the day. In spite of all of that, I'm really glad that the explanation I gave on the front end, like, is in the same vein as the explanation they gave. But I didn't expect them to go the route of, yeah, the fight lasts for days. And there's just a lot of stuff that's left up to implication of they've been fighting for God knows how long. But if Banner just gets one possibility, one single possibility through going through the green door over and over and over again, and if the question is, can Bruce Banner solve an insolvable problem that is 1 to trillions and trillions, the answer is yes. And I like that. I like how they went about this. It was really cool. I did want to bring up the score as well, because the score did, for lack of a better term, an instrumental job at telling the story. It really did sound like something out of a Godzilla movie. And again, this sense of scale and this sense of dread that sort of looms over the entire animation is very, very Godzilla. I think that they treated Godzilla really well here. I think both characters were handled really well, but it really did feel like I could feel the love for Godzilla and those movies going into this. It was just a spectacle to see. Yeah, I don't have many other thoughts other than I think they did a great job. I can't make any comments necessarily on 3D animation and whether or not that was great, but I thought it was great. Though I do have someone that maybe may know a little bit about 3D animation that could potentially give their take on it. So if you guys haven't met my editor, I'm sure he's around here somewhere.
Where the fuck is Godzilla?